Have you noticed that strange feeling lately? Not panic, not collapse, just discomfort. Life still works. You still go to work. Shops are open, the lights are on. But something feels off. Everything feels tighter, more expensive, more fragile. Like the system is holding itself together with tension instead of confidence. Jobs don't feel as secure as they used to. Saving money doesn't feel rewarding anymore. Planning long-term feels risky. And every solution offered by governments sounds weaker than the last one. People keep saying, once inflation goes away, once interest rates come down, once things go back to normal. But what if they don't? What if this uneasy feeling isn't a temporary phase, but the beginning of a different kind of decade? Because the 2020s aren't just another chapter. They're the moment when cheap stability quietly disappeared. For decades, the world lived in a very unusual environment. Energy was cheap. Money was cheap. Labor was cheap. Debt was easy. Growth felt automatic. When problems appeared, governments could throw money at them. Central banks could cut interest rates. Markets recovered quickly. Life bounced back. Stability didn't feel earned, it felt guaranteed. Most people don't realize how rare that period was. It wasn't normal, it was an exception. A long one, but still an exception. And entire societies were built assuming it would never end. Cheap stability created a powerful illusion. For decades, the system trained everyone to believe that problems were temporary, that every shock could be smoothed out, that every mistake could be fixed later. If something went wrong, borrow more, stimulate demand, push growth forward, let the future deal with the bill. And the future never seemed to arrive. Debt felt harmless. Inflation stayed low. Asset prices climbed steadily. Even bad decisions didn't seem to matter much. This didn't just shape policy, it shaped psychology. People learned to expect comfort, to expect recovery, to expect that tomorrow would be easier than today. That expectation is now colliding with reality.
The 2020s didn't cause the problem. They revealed it. Pandemics, supply shocks, energy disruptions, geopolitical tension, demographic decline. Suddenly, the system had to absorb real stress. And instead of bouncing back smoothly, it started to strain. Inflation surged, debt exploded, trust weakened, stability became expensive. The era of cheap solutions quietly ended.
For years, interest rates were kept near zero. Not because it was ideal, not because it was sustainable, but because the system simply couldn't handle anything else. Cheap money became the glue holding everything together. Governments, corporations, housing markets, financial systems. When inflation returned, that glue started to melt. Raising interest rates didn't feel like a strategic decision, it felt like emergency surgery without anesthesia. Now the world is discovering something uncomfortable. The economy built on cheap money doesn't know how to function without it. Debt suddenly feels heavy. Investments feel risky. Mistakes are no longer forgiven. The safety net is gone. Energy is the foundation of stability. When energy is cheap, transport is cheap. Food is cheap, manufacturing is cheap, life feels smooth. But energy abundance is fading, not because we're running out, but because accessing it safely, politically, and reliably is harder. Energy volatility creates economic volatility, and volatility kills comfort.
Populations are aging, workforces are shrinking, skills are mismatched. For decades, globalization hid this reality. Now it's visible everywhere. Labor shortages push wages up, services become expensive, efficiency drops. This isn't a temporary phase, it's structural. Cheap labor was a one-time gift, it's gone.
Governments today face a cruel reality. They are expected to do more with less flexibility. Debt limits responses. Inflation limits spending. Voters limit reforms. Every decision angers someone. Every solution creates a new problem. This isn't incompetence, it's constraint. The tools that once guaranteed stability no longer work the same way. This is where it becomes personal. People aren't just poor, they're tired. Tired of adapting, tired of recalculating, tired of planning and replanning their lives. Rent goes up, groceries cost more, savings lose value, and every financial decision feels like walking on thin ice. It's not just economic stress, it's mental fatigue. When stability disappears, anxiety replaces it. And anxiety, sustained for years, reshapes societies. Many people are waiting for a big moment, a crash, a reset, a clear breaking point. But that's probably not how this decade plays out. The 2020s are shaping up to be uncomfortable, a decade of friction, of small shocks, of partial recoveries that never feel complete, of growth that exists on paper but not in daily life. No single collapse, just constant pressure. And pressure, over time, reshapes everything. People keep asking, when do things go back to normal? But normal depended on conditions that no longer exist. Cheap energy, cheap money, expanding populations, political consensus, global trust. You can't recreate those with policy. This isn't a policy failure, it's a historical transition. Adaptation doesn't mean panic, it means realism. Lower expectations, more resilience, less leverage, more margin for error. Societies that accept discomfort early adjust better. Those that deny it cling to illusions. The 2020s reward flexibility, not blind optimism. So here's the uncomfortable truth. The problem isn't that something went wrong. The problem is that something ended. An entire era quietly closed its doors. The age of cheap stability is over. Not with explosions, not with headlines, not with a single dramatic moment, but permanently. The 2020s won't feel catastrophic. They'll feel tight, uneasy, unforgiving, like living in a system that no longer gives second chances easily. And the sooner we accept that reality, the better prepared we are for what comes next. Because history doesn't punish people for being unprepared, it punishes them for pretending nothing has changed.